It's a difficult moment to try to project. And, as we came out today, we did provide some nearer-in guidance, but our longer-term guidance was more general in nature. And so I think, that kind of leaves investors only with the short term to judge. And I think what really is going to be the tail of the tape of this moment for companies is not just the here and now, but really how we come through the pandemic on the other side. And so our focus really has been around that, taking advantage of a tough moment to make the most of it by investing in marketing and really trying to solidify relationship with the millions of new households that have come into our franchises. I think this is one of those windows where even in times where we may be a bit constrained on supply, we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to strengthen those relationships. And I think you pair that with the work that we'd already done to simplify the portfolio. We've reduced debt. We're now at a level that's 12 months ahead of our plan. We've got an organization that I couldn't be more proud of how they've executed, starting with our frontline teams all the way through in navigating this difficult moment. And I think what we're going to see is a situation where we come through this in a very advantaged position. I think companies that right now are only focused on incremental sales, that aren't focused on building strategy, I think, those are the ones that are going to be in a bit of a disadvantage.
I'm curious what you're seeing right now from the consumer, because we've seen that bump in unemployment benefits and a lot of the stimulus money wear off. Has there been an effect on grocery trends and buying of your products versus what we saw a few months ago?
Yeah, I think certainly as we've worked through these cycles of the pandemic, we've seen some, I'd say, some positive trends. For example, on things like cooking, where initially, we saw a surge in that behavior almost out of necessity. Now, 6 months later, consumers have built it as a real muscle, and so their confidence and their commitment to that behavior is one of the reasons why we expect to see that continue on. And where in the beginning it might have been very simple recipes, now consumers are able to build in their own creativity, match more of their personal favorites. And I think that's a trend that we'll see continuing. At the same time, I do think there is some normalization in categories, more so on our snacking side than perhaps what we're seeing on our meals and beverage side. I think as we navigate the back to school time period, as we head into a high entertaining season with initially football in the fall and then into the holidays, I think we need to see how that's going to play out. I think on the one hand, you're going to still have this ongoing stay-at-home behavior of kind of grazing and snacking on a more regular basis. But will we see as much of the entertaining and the party volume as one of the things that we're watching very closely? And of course, back to school depends a little bit about where you are in the country, whether your kids are in school learning in person or whether they're doing it virtually, signals very different levels of demand and different items. And what we're trying to do is really adjust our approach so that we're able to meet the needs of the consumers in a more surgical way or more specific to where they may be or what cycle in this pandemic they're in.